I just wanted to come on here and say that Football Manager 26 is actually a great game, I think. I think it's much better than the last one. And in hindsight, it's probably worth the wait, even though the extra year was brutal to sit through, waiting for a new release. It was released with a few bugs, but that's not factoring into how I see the game at all for this review. The bugs have mostly been ironed out from the beta, and I'm sure they'll continue to work on the bugs as time goes on. Don't forget, it's got all of the new players, which is a massive thing. You know, I don't really care about women's football, but to have all of the new Wonder Kids and all the new men's teams and squads completely up to date is really, really cool, and should never be taken for granted. And obviously it's got an amazing new match engine as well, I've got a high-end PC, so I play it on the highest graphics, and the graphics are actually really good. I mean, you compare it to FM24 and it's like, that's just like living in the past, man. It makes the unlike in FM24, I actually skip watching in 2D Classic most of the time, which I did in FM24. I used to just watch with the 2D screen because the 3D screen wasn't really that great. But in this one, I watch in full 3D mode most of the time, unless it's like an away match where I'm expected to lose. Then I don't sit through the whole 3D match. I'll just 2D it or instant result it. But even in my save, which I've got about 40 hours logged, I'm still coming across new Wonder Kids that excite me and who I'll be looking out for in real life. You know, it's like there's a real freshness about the game, not just the new engine, but it's just the whole. I actually quite like the new user interface. It's come under so much criticism, but I actually kind of like it. Mainly because you don't have to even read the news anymore. You can just skip through all of the news items unless it requires a direct response, and that's great, because in the last version, FM24, it made you scroll through every single bloody news item to continue the game. And like I'm not like a nerd. I don't go into like I'm not bothered about what else is going on in the game world and stuff, and I delegate almost everything to my staff, apart from the games and the transfers and the major tactical issues. So, yeah, it's just really cool that the games come quicker than they did in the last version. So you can get to the next game a lot quicker because of the ease of the user interface. Sure, it would be cool if you could save your team selection, which is the one thing that I would like them to include. But other than that, there's really nothing else I prefer about the last version compared to this new version. The team selection thing is, I'm sure, a feature they'll fix in the future, because it's obviously a really simple and obvious thing to improve, where you can just load team selections, like one for your B team, one for your A team against shit. You know, if you want to play your B team in the cup or whatever, you can just load it up rather than having to individually select every player. It's a bit annoying at the moment. Overall, I just think with this FM backlash that we're experiencing in the community, I just think it's like this mob mentality now, which is so prevalent nowadays. You know, it's like one person says they don't like it, who's a huge influencer, and then suddenly everyone else doesn't like it as well, because it's really easy to bash. But I think they've been very brave with a lot of the decisions about the user interface and stuff like that. And there's so many great things and fresh things about the new game and all the new players that I just think it's mob mentality. If you consider it overall, it's pretty damn good. One final thing I will say is that on a personal level, I don't really care or like the out of possession tactical stuff. I think having two tactic screens is just a bit too much. I'd much rather they just had the FM24 system of one tactic rather than having to worry about your defensive tactics, because that's just kind of boring. It's a bit nerdy, you know, like when you've got Ronaldo, for example, let's say in his heyday, and you're having to worry about what he's doing when he's defending. It's like, I don't want to be worrying about all these great players and what they're doing when they're defending, you know. So yeah, apart from that, it's a better game hands down. I'd give it 8 out of 10.